Well, good afternoon, guys. I want to talk to you guys about something. I've had a very good friend of mine ask me if I would be able to help him get rid of his Ameritron Al-1500. Now, this is the equivalent to the Al-1500 either Q or X. And the reason it falls into those two classifications is because the aux position on this amplifier does work in the 10 meter position. It was factory modified for that. Now, as you all know with Ameritron, the only thing that you have to really do to modify these to work in the aux position is one, have it present, and two, there's a green wire that's in there that you can cut, and that'll give you general use of the 10 meter position. I did not do that. It was factory done. So that means the previous owner that had this thing, and it's got all the boards in it for 10 meters. There's some add-on chokes and boards that you can have added from the factory. So they make the Al-1500 just like this one, but the reason that this is the Q or the X is because most of them only go to 21 megahertz, and this one will go through 10. So the one that you see listed on their webpage for, what was it, $4,100, will only go to 15 and 17 meters. The aux position on this one allows it to go to the full 10 meter range. This particular amplifier has a brand new iMac, and when I say brand new, the whole amplifier is brand new. It's less than 3 months old. It's got an iMac 3CX1500A7 in it. It does not have the import tube in it. This is actually an American-made tube, new old stock from Ameritron. So this amplifier retails for about $4,595. It's got a couple add-ons in it. Like I said, it's got the from factory modified 10 meters, so this would be technically an export. Really, Dad's shooting a video here. My lab's upset because I'm not playing with him. Please forgive him if you hear him in the background. This is technically the export version, but it was all factory done. It wasn't done in-house. So, anywho, it's got all the boards for that. That's an upgrade into the thing. And then plus it's also got the GOP 100X board, which is a grid current analyzer board that protects the amplifier. So if you don't have the amplifier perfectly in resonance for the frequency that you're wanting to run it on, instead of possibly damaging the tube, it's got a cutoff, and it just goes click. It's a real soft click, and it doesn't allow the amplifier to do anything. It cuts off the keying circuit physically. So all you've got to do to reset it is to power the amplifier off and power it back on, and then go through the 2-minute wait warm-up period. When you turn the amplifier on, the thing will sit there at idle for approximately 2 minutes and 10 seconds on this one. I've seen them as low as just, about 1 minute and 45. The 3CX1500A7 is a very delicate tube in my opinion. Of course, I come from a field where people smash the shit out of their amplifiers. Amateur radio operators, I found they recognize that the amplifier is just a tool. It's part of the process. It registers in their brain as the same level as the antenna in their coax and their radio and their microphone system and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Where CBeers, on the other hand, and some of the guys I work with, the amplifier is their holy grail. As in, it is the number one thing that makes the little scoochum in their universe go down. And they smash the box for every single watt you can get out of it. This is an elegant piece of artwork. This is the flagship amplifier of Ameritron Nation. And this is it's about the best money can buy. This is the most expensive amplifier that they have for sale on their page. The 3CX1500A7 is a great tube. There's lots of them out there. Give me a second and I'll let you see what one looks like. Here's one that I had sent in for a separate project. This is not related to this amplifier in any way. I'm just showing it to you. This is an actual CPI, otherwise known as iMac 3CX1500. This is a ceramic tube. For most ham radio guys, this thing is a brute. For me, in my universe, and the people I hang with, they don't really think about ceramic until you get to something like this. This is a 4CX 20000A7. Anywho, for the amateur world, this is a full legal limit plus some and a little bit more. Let me get this tube out of the way. It's a $1,800 to $1,900 tube. depending on where you get it and the brand name that's on it. Because it's an iMac means it's a much more expensive piece of equipment. This amplifier is for sale. This is a clean one owner. And when I mean clean one owner, it has literally been owned by one person. Not like the used car salesman that say, oh no, grandma drove it to church on Sunday. Except when she loaned it out to the granddaughter who took it to the parties. This is exactly what it is. The flagship amplifier of their station. The only one that they make that's better than this is the export model that goes to Japan. And as far as I can tell, the only thing that makes that special is they've got a high-speed QSO board that sits in this thing for CW. So when you're sitting there going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, it allows your radio in between your CW pulses to receive, which to me has always been incredibly silly. Give me a second, I'll be right back, you guys. You guys have to bear with me. I'm trying to shoot this in the middle of the day, and I got both the company phones running plus this business line. I think where I left off was I was saying I think it's incredibly silly, but it's a neat option that they've cooked up. That board sits in here up against the wall. It is a giant pain in the ass to install. I've done it on several others in the past, and the instructions that come with it are very poor, piss poor. And Ameritron, if you're watching, which I'm sure somebody from Ameritron eventually will, if you'd like me to rewrite your instructions for installation for that particular board, I'd be more than willing to do that for you, so it makes sense. It's very minimalistic, the installation instructions for that board, but they're a pain. It's a $300 upgrade, and that's the only difference. The reason I bring that up is to try and justify the $4,600 cost of this box. That's not what we're selling this amplifier for. This is not brand new. This is as close to brand new as you can possibly get without being from Ameritron. I took the lid off so we could shoot the video. I did the safety interlock bypass, which is basically a zip tie back on that switch, which helps protect the person that doesn't know what they're doing with high voltage. And I think I've demonstrated that I am not like stupid competent with high voltage, but I am enough to be fearful of it and understand it enough that we can run it without the lid on, and we're not going to have a third eye grow out of our forehead, or we're not going to die. But like I said, it's got the iMac tube in it. This thing is so new, it's pathetic. There's no scratches anywhere on this box, anywhere, and I mean anywhere. The screws for the cabinet, I think the only time they were out is when the amplifier was originally delivered so that it could install the transformer. When you get this amplifier from me, it's going to come in 3 pieces. You're going to get the amp deck itself, then you're going to get a separate package with the tube, and then a third package with the transformer. They did not design this amplifier to be transported with the transformer inside. Henry's, on the other hand, you can transport those with the transformer inside the SB220s. People don't ever think to take those out, but when they do, they actually make it here in one piece. The packing material. Guys, I've got every box for this thing that there is. First and foremost, and the most important, and this is what really drives up the resale value on this particular device, is this box right here. This is the box for the tube. And that serial number on that box really, really knocks up the value of this box. This is the actual Ameritron shipping container for the 3CX 1500A7. I have all the little foam inserts that go inside for the tube, like so. And you will be receiving the amplifier in its original shipping containers. All the original shipping containers are in pristine condition. They are not ripped, they are not torn, they are not broken, they are not anything. Everything for this box is in perfect order, including the manual with the original warranty card attached with the serial number for this amplifier on the card. Which means you fill this out and register it with Ameritron, you still have the Ameritron warranty. Alright, before the phone rang, I think we were talking about the warranty. That means you can still utilize the Ameritron warranty on this amplifier. Period. When it's shipped from here, of course, I will take it. We're going to go to a UPS store. We're going to have them inspect the packing materials since it's already to Ameritron standards. That means that we're going to insure it also, and you'll have a full insured transport from here to whoever ends up buying this thing. We're going to ask $3,800 for this box, and it's worth every penny. That's a full $1,000 off its list price. $1,000 reduction for a brand new Ameritron Al-1500. This is the steal of the week, the month actually. And the reason we can ask that is because it is so mint. It is literally cherry, beyond cherry, which I'm going to go here and show. Once again, I want to take a minute and I want to apologize. I'm sorry I've had to cut away so many times, but like I said, I am managing 2 other businesses plus doing this thing over here. So you've got a couple different things that take place with this. The 3CX tube takes a long time to warm up. This particular unit, its timer is set for roughly 2 minutes. I've turned it on and run it up 4 different times now. Each time it has taken 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So they say in the manual it's going to be approximately 180 seconds. So it's pretty close. It's pretty straightforward of operation. Power on, put into operate mode. You have CW and sideband, which is 2 different taps on the filament or the plate transformer for different voltages. So give me just a second. We're going to reset, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start shooting the video of this thing actually running. Okay, guys, let's go through the startup procedure, and I'm going to keep talking here. Now we're going to turn the power on. And what that does is it turns the filament voltage on and turns the blower motor on. This thing is literally whisper quiet once you get the lid on top of it. Now, there's a little bit of vibrational noise as the blower comes up to operation. This has a beautiful 600 CFM, 660 or 680 CFM blower that applies the back pressure to the tube. Now, when you first turn the amplifier on, do not be alarmed. Both meters will not light up. Please remember that with this particular amplifier, this is your operation light. So the LEDs are not burned out when you first turn it on. Please note the high voltage. We're on the high voltage setting. I'm going to put that in standby at the moment. And like I said, this will take approximately 2 minutes and 10 seconds. The tube is in pristine condition. Pristine. I cannot stress to you how nice this thing is. So when you go to Hamfest or you go to your little jamboree get-togethers or your little breaks or your little, pizza night with all the other ham guys, you get to look at them guys and say, yeah, I'm running an Ameritron 1500-Q. That means a lot to ham radio guys. A lot. Especially knowing that this is a low drive unit. Now this tube can produce a whole lot more power than what Ameritron's got it set up to do. But the reason Ameritron's using this tube is because you can stand on it. And the way they've got the tube set up guarantees that this will be the last amplifier, last tube that you ever purchase. This is a nice little box. It's not anything I'd ever own. I'd probably build my own equipment for me to use if I was ever going to use something like this. But since I don't ever talk on the ham bands or apply anything like that, this is just another piece of equipment to me. The 1500 is a brute tube for the amateur bands. This will give you 2500 watts in peak envelope power and approximately 1200 bird or average power, which is full legal limit no matter how you look at it all the way around. And that's in all modes of operation, CW, AM, FM. Now what you heard just click in was a set of relays, the interlock relays, and now we're free to operate. The tube is warmed up, the filaments have come to the appropriate temperatures, and at the end of the day, you're off to the races and running. So we're going to start out on, well, I'm not going to run it through all its bands. I don't feel that that's necessary. At this point, I think people pretty much believe what I tell them is true, and this thing speaks for itself. We're going to load it up on 20 meters today, you guys. We're going to run it in AM and sideband. We're going to use an ICOM 7300 that has been unmodified in any way. It's directly straight out of the box. We're going to run this into a Bird 10,000 watt dummy load. We're going to use 2 through 30 megahertz coaxial line, coaxial elements. And the 10,000 watt line terminus has been grounded, so therefore we don't have to worry about it bleeding off anywhere. That way we don't need to worry about call signs. So Now that we got the legal speak out of the way, let's make this thing make power. What do you think? So give me a second. We're going to move the camera again. We're going to turn the 7300 on, and we're going to look at the watt meters. Okay, hopefully we can get this in one take. So let's go ahead. We're going to turn on the ICOM 7300. And first off, let's zoom in over here to the bird meters. Let me show you drive. That's a 1000 watt slug in PEP position. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. As we can all clearly see, we're doing about 100, 110, 115 watts, which is a little bit more than what they suggest in the book to put in this thing. It's okay. What we're going to pay attention to is the ampere meter on the amplifier here. So let me go ahead and we'll zoom ourselves back out. So we're going to be looking at this meter here, making sure we stay below 100 mils worth of current. So then we'll step on the pedal. Hello. We're going to take and flip ourselves into operate. So we have our zero signal established. And our zero signal is 100 mils. Right on the book. Hello. Now what we just watched happen on the meters was our 1000 watt element disappeared into the corner and we produced 800 watts worth of average power. Lay down. I can't have you tripping underneath my feet. Lay down. Lay down. Good boy. So we're going to reach around here. We're going to put that down in 5x. So this is now a 5000 watt element in peak. And I did that so we don't beat up my meter too awful bad here. Hello, audio. Hello. Now before we get too busy staring at the bird meters, let's go over here and look at our saturation point on the tube. Hello, audio. So we're not stressing our grid too awful bad. Hello, audio. We're pulling our 2 full amps worth of current from our 2 amp transformer, which is beautiful. Sorry I misspoke earlier. This is my grid meter. We really want to pay attention to this. We put too much pressure on the grids, this thing will trip out because it has that, $100 upgrade to it that was installed by the factory. So we're not putting any pressure on the grids. And we're pulling our full 2 amps worth of output power, which is that, and that's all we're going to get out of this thing if we set it up textbook. So let's go ahead and we'll move back on over here to the birds. Now that meter on the far right, like I said, is in 5x. The meter in the middle, 1000 in average power alone. And then we have that 5 watt slug back from the bird 10,000 watt dummy load. That way we can show that we have a good output reflect and our dummy load's actually doing our job. So, hello. Well, we just built over 1,000 average watts. Hello, audio. Which is of course what we would do if we're operating this thing on sideband, which we are at 14 megahertz, which is 20. And we're running it in upper sideband, of course. Because we're above what band? No, that's right. I do have my ham ticket, by the way. I paid attention when I was 12 and got it. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Now let's change modes. We're going to change our mode over to AM. We're going to throw a nice solid carrier. It's a nice solid 600 watt carrier. We're going to back off the meters now. There's our plate current. Power output, I've got 600 watts on the average meter over there displayed, 600 watts displayed here. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. These meters read hand in hand with each other. The power meter here, and then of course the peak meter over there. So you can see the peak meter is showing us that we're doing about 1800 watts. Hello, audio, hello. We're bouncing to 16, 17 over here. This is not quite as generous as that meter over there. Of course, I'd trust that meter over this meter any day of the week. Our grid current is good. Plate amp. Hello, 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 hello. Nice and steady at 1 amp, and our high voltage is nice and strong. Hello, 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 hello. Now, technicalities, we should be running this in CW. Hello, audio. It's a beautiful thing. Put that in standby, and we're going to shut this off. So guys, I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. It is the Ameritron Al-1500 full legal limit plus a little bit more. Big Mac Daddy amateur radio amplifier for 160 through 10. Like I said, it was modified at the factory. I had nothing to do with it. So, with all that being said, I'm going to thank you all for tuning in and checking it out. This thing is for sale. I don't think I'll have this very long. Everything I've ever put up for sale that was in this category or in this class usually disappears within a day or so. Call me on the phone. Shoot me a text. I'm not going to sit and run down tracking quotes for everybody on shipping. I think everybody that's going to be in the wheelhouse to buy this thing has got a pretty good idea that you're going to spend $200 to $300 to get this amp to you. Because it is what it is. So guys, give me a call. Come check me out. Here's the number. You know, I was talking with somebody today on the phone about why I have this on a piece of paper. Because I used to do the fancy little graphics, and I still do it today. And you've seen it in the beginning of this video. The fancy little graphics that displayed my number all over the screen. For some reason, nobody ever bothered to pay attention to that. The day I put that piece of paper on the wall, my phone started ringing like a Mad Hatter, and that hasn't stopped for 5 or 6 years now. So yeah, it's a little tacky, but guess what? It works. Gentlemen, my name is BBI. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Come check us out, www.bbiamps.com. I'm all over Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube. If this is your first time watching me, please, for the love of God, make sure to click the subscribe button. I'm always doing cool shit like this. This is the third or the fourth Ameritron I've had come through here. See, my exhaust air temperature's down. Third or fourth Ameritron I've had come through here. This is absolutely the best one I've ever seen or had in my hands. It doesn't have all the goodies in it that you could possibly get. There's only one more board you could add to it. Yes, for a small nominal fee, I will gladly install the board. I will cuss and scream at you on the phone and jump up and down, and then I will embrace it and just do it because they're a pain. But if this is something you're truly interested in wanting to have installed because you're the super Optimo CB or ham radio guy, I will help you get your dreams come true. Give us a call. We'll get you hooked up. Ameritron Al-1500 amplifier, $3,800. First come, first serve. Appreciate you all watching, and I thank my friend for sending me this thing up and giving me the opportunity to help him out getting rid of it. Another great piece of amateur equipment, gonna go to another amateur radio operator. I'll see you boys. Bye-bye.